The white medical ship drifted silently through the dark space of the Kepler sector. Its hull was painted with bright red crosses that could be seen from far away. This was the UMS Hippocrates, Earth's biggest hospital ship. It carried doctors and nurses who helped anyone who was hurt, no matter which side they fought for in the war. Dr. Kim Soo-jin walked quickly through the ship's hallways. She was the head doctor. Her white coat was clean, and her face was serious. She had been working for 18 hours straight, but she did not look tired. There were too many people who needed help. Captain Park Min-ho stood on the bridge looking at reports on his screen. The numbers were bad. Every day more people got hurt in the fighting between the Zephyrians and the Korthaks. His ship tried to help everyone, but there were so many wounded. The captain was a quiet man with kind eyes. He had joined the medical service because he wanted to save lives, not take them. His crew of 300 people felt the same way. They were doctors, nurses, and helpers. Some were humans from Earth. Others were aliens who had run away from the war. Captain, called Lee Do-yoon, from her spot at the communication desk. She was young and always spoke clearly. "We are getting a call for help." Park turned around. "What kind of call?" "It's a Korthok ship, sir. A civilian transport. They say they have 200 people on board, and their ship is badly damaged." The captain did not need to think long. "Set our course for them right now. Tell Dr. Kim to get ready for many patients." The Hippocrates changed direction and flew toward the damaged ship. Dr. Kim got the message and ran to the medical rooms. She called her team together, including Choi Ji-ho, a young doctor who was still learning. "Get all the beds ready," she told them. "Check our supplies of Korthok medicine. Make sure the translation devices are working." When they reached the broken transport ship, they could see how bad it was. The hull had big holes in it. The ship was leaking air and floating in space like a wounded animal. Small rescue boats flew between the two ships, bringing hurt people to the hospital ship. Dr. Kim worked fast. The Korthaks had blue skin covered in scales. They breathed different air than humans, and their blood was green, but pain was the same for everyone. She and her team knew exactly how to help them. The medical rooms filled up quickly. There were Korthok workers, families, and children. All of them were scared and hurt. The human doctors worked carefully, using special tools made for alien bodies. "Doctor," said Choi Ji-ho, "this little one has internal bleeding. I need help." Dr. Kim came over to look at a small Korthok child. The child's big eyes looked up at her with trust. She began to operate immediately. On the bridge, Navigator Yoon Hae-won was watching her screens. She was good at finding danger before it found them. "Captain, I see 3 ships coming toward us. They are big. They are Zephyrian destroyers." Captain Park felt his stomach get tight. The Zephyrians were winning the war. They were strong and did not like anyone who helped their enemies. But the Hippocrates was a hospital ship. It was supposed to be safe. The 3 gray warships surrounded the white hospital ship. Their weapons were powered up but not pointing at them yet. The Hippocrates looked small and weak next to them. A voice came over the radio. It was deep and rough. "This is Admiral Vexstar of the Zephyrian fleet. Human ship, you are helping our enemies. Give us all the Korthok passengers right now." "Captain." Park stepped forward. His voice was calm but firm. "Admiral, this is a hospital ship. We follow the medical laws of space. Our patients are protected. We cannot give them to you. Your human laws mean nothing here," the alien voice said with anger. "This space belongs to us now. Give us the Korthaks, or we will take them." Dr. Kim came onto the bridge. Her surgery clothes had green Korthak blood on them. Her face was worried. "Captain, we have 17 patients who will die if we move them. 3 of them are just children." Park's hands made fists. He looked at the 3 warships on his screen. They were much bigger than his medical ship. But he had taken an oath to protect the sick and wounded. "Admiral," he said into the radio, "we are leaving for neutral space now. Do not stop a medical mission. The Hippocrates slowly turned away from the warships. Its engines made a soft humming sound as it tried to fly to safety. The white ship with its red crosses moved peacefully through the darkness. On the bridge, everyone was quiet. They hoped the Zephyrians would let them go. Hospital ships were supposed to be safe. Everyone in the galaxy knew the rules about not attacking doctors and patients. But Admiral Vexstar was not thinking about rules. He was thinking about winning the war. And he did not care who got hurt. The first missile hit the white hospital ship without any warning at all. Dr. Kim Sujin was checking on a small Korthok patient when the explosion threw her across the room. She hit the wall hard and fell to the floor. The lights went out and red emergency lights came on. Everything was shaking and making loud noises. The children in the medical room started crying. They were scared and did not understand what was happening. Dr. Kim got up slowly. Her head hurt, but she had to help the children. All people on the ship, listen. Captain Park's voice came from the speakers in the ceiling. His voice sounded worried, but he was trying to stay calm. We are being attacked. All repair teams go to your places. All doctors and nurses get ready for many hurt people. On the bridge, Captain Park could not believe what he was seeing. The 3 gray warships were shooting at his hospital ship. Their big guns were firing missile after missile at the white ship with the red crosses. They are shooting at a hospital ship, he said quietly to himself. They are really attacking doctors and sick people. Lee Dayun was working fast at her communication desk. Her fingers moved quickly over the buttons. Captain, I am sending our hospital codes to them. I am telling them we are a medical ship, but they are not listening. Another group of missiles hit the left side of the hospital ship. The explosions were very loud. Parts of the ship broke off and flew into space. In one of the medical rooms, young Dr. Choi Ji-ho was trying to help an old Korthok man. When the missiles hit, the ceiling started to fall down. Big pieces of metal were falling everywhere. Choi Ji-ho saw a large piece falling toward the old patient. Without thinking, he jumped on top of the old man to protect him. The metal hit Choi Ji-ho instead. He died trying to save someone else. In the children's room, Dr. Kim was holding the scared young Korthaks. They were crying and shaking with fear. She tried to speak their language, even though she was not very good at it. It will be okay, she told them softly. Do not be scared. But she knew it was not okay. She could hear the air leaking out of the ship through holes in the walls. The ship was dying and everyone on it might die too. More missiles hit the ship. This time they hit the room where the children were. A big hole opened in the wall and all the air started rushing out into space. Dr. Kim knew what she had to do. She grabbed all the children and pulled them close to her. She put her body between them and the broken wall. She held them tight as the room filled with cold air from space. She thought about the promise she made when she became a doctor. She promised to always try to save people and never hurt them. The last missile hit the children's room. Dr. Kim used her own body to protect the small aliens from the explosion. She died holding them, trying to keep them safe until the very end. On the bridge, Navigator Yoon Haewon was working at her controls, even though the ship was breaking apart around her. She knew the ship was going to explode soon. Captain, I am launching the escape pods, she called out. Her voice was hard to hear because of all the noise from the dying ship. I am turning on the emergency signal. I am sending records of the attack to other ships. The escape pods shot out from the hospital ship like seeds from a flower. Some of them had hurt people inside. Others were empty because there was no time to get everyone to safety. Captain Park did not leave his place on the bridge. He stayed at his controls as his ship broke into pieces around him. He picked up the communication device one last time. This is Captain Park of the hospital ship Hippocrates, he said into the device. The Zephyrians have attacked a medical ship. They fired on doctors and patients. They fired on people who only wanted to heal others. Remember this. Remember that they shot at those who helped the sick. The main power system of the ship was getting ready to explode. Captain Park looked out at the stars one last time. He thought about all the people his ship had saved. He thought about Dr. Kim and young Choi Ji-ho and all the others who died trying to help people. The explosion was bigger than anything anyone had ever seen in that part of space. The white hospital ship disappeared in a ball of bright light. The light was so bright that ships very far away could see it. The 3 gray Zephyrian warships flew away from the explosion. They left behind only floating pieces of the hospital ship and the small escape pods with the few people who survived. In space, there was only silence now. The ship that had helped so many people was gone. The doctors and nurses who had saved lives were dead, all because they had tried to help wounded people in a war. Admiral Vexstar had gotten what he wanted, but he had done something that would change everything. He had attacked those who heal, and the galaxy would remember. The video message reached Earth after traveling through space for 37 hours. It carried the worst news that humans had ever received. President Kong Min-soo sat in the big meeting room with leaders from all the human worlds. Her hands were squeezed so tight that her fingers hurt. On the table in front of them, a machine showed pictures of what had happened to the hospital ship. They watched the white ship with red crosses get hit by missiles. They saw it break apart and explode. They saw the escape pods flying away from the burning wreckage. 218 people are dead, said Defense Secretary Oh Jimin. His voice sounded empty and sad. Doctors, nurses, patients, and refugees. 12 of them were humans from Earth. The videos showed Dr. Kim Soo-jin in her last moments. She was holding alien children, trying to protect them with her own body. She died saving people who were not even her own species. President Kong could not speak. She just stared at the pictures. Around the table, the other leaders were quiet too. They had never seen anything so terrible. Within a few hours, people all across human space heard the news. They were very angry. On Mars, the workers who built spaceships stopped making passenger ships. Instead, they started building warships. On Titan, the big factories that made peaceful things began making weapons and military equipment. Everywhere humans lived, the same thing was happening. People who had never thought about war were now thinking about nothing else. The peaceful humans who explored space and helped other species were getting ready to fight. 3 days later, Admiral Song Hoyanwoo flew to the Galactic Council. This was where all the different alien species met to talk about problems. The big meeting room was full of creatures from many different worlds. Admiral Song stood up and showed them the video of the attack. All the aliens watched the hospital ship get destroyed. They saw the doctors and patients die. The Zephyrians attacked a hospital ship, Admiral Song said. They killed people who were only trying to help the wounded. This is against all the rules of space. The Zephyrian representative stood up. He was tall and had gray skin. That ship was carrying our enemies, he said. We had the right to attack. It was a hospital ship, Admiral Song said again. His voice was quiet, but everyone could hear the anger in it. It had medical signs on it. It was broadcasting signals that said it was peaceful. You humans think with your hearts instead of your heads, the Zephyrian said. The Galactic Council should not get involved in our war. One by one, the other alien species voted. They all said the same thing. They would not help the humans. They were too afraid of the Zephyrians to stand up for what was right. The representative from the Altarian Empire spoke for many of them. This is not our problem, he said. We will not risk war with the Zephyrians over human emotions. Admiral Song looked around the room at all the alien faces. None of them would help. They all turned away when he looked at them. That night, President Kong spoke to all the human worlds at the same time. Billions of people watched her on their screens. The galaxy will not protect those who heal, she said. The other species are too scared to stand up for what is right, so we will do it ourselves. Today, I am starting Operation Caduceus. This will be the biggest military action in human history. The next morning, something amazing happened. All across human space, people left their jobs to join the military. They lined up at recruitment centers on every world. Dr. Nam Yoon-ji had been Dr. Kim Soo-jin's friend in medical school. When she heard the news, she signed up to be a combat doctor. Kim died protecting others, she said. I will honor her memory by doing the same. Engineer Lim Dong-hae owned a big cargo ship that carried supplies between planets. He took his ship to a military base and told them to put weapons on it. Turn my hauler into a warship, he said. I want to fight the people who kill doctors. Teacher. Shin Yuna had taught children on a peaceful colony world for 10 years. She left her classroom and joined the crew of a medical ship. Someone has to protect the healers, she told her students before she left. All across human space, the same thing was happening. Farmers, builders, scientists, and artists all became soldiers. The humans, who had given the galaxy better medicine, cleaner technology, and beautiful art, were now getting ready for war. The peaceful species that explored the stars and helped everyone they met was waking up to fight. They had tried to solve the problem with words and laws, but when words failed and laws were ignored, they would use force. For the first time in their history, the humans were truly angry. They had been pushed too far. Someone had attacked their doctors and nurses. Someone had killed people whose only crime was helping the wounded. The galaxy would learn what happened when you attacked those who heal. The humans were coming, and they were bringing all the fury of a species that valued life above everything else. 6 months after the hospital ship died, Admiral Song Hyun-woo stood on the bridge of his new warship. The ship was called the UN's Retribution. It was the biggest and strongest ship humans had ever built. Behind his ship, hundreds and hundreds of other ships floated in space. There were more than 800 ships in total. Some were real warships built for fighting, but many others used to be peaceful ships. Cargo ships, mining ships, and even hospital ships had been changed into weapons of war. Admiral, we are now entering Zephyrian space, said Captain Bae Suho from his control station. Our long-distance sensors can see their border guard ships. They are coming toward us. Admiral Song looked out at his huge fleet. It was not like any military force the galaxy had ever seen before. The hospital ships still had their red crosses, but now they also had big guns to protect themselves. The cargo ships that used to carry food and supplies now carried thousands of missiles. The mining ships that used to dig in asteroids now had their digging tools turned into weapons that could break through planet defenses. Begin the attack. On Kepler 7, Admiral Song said quietly. The Zephyrian ships came to fight them. The gray alien warships flew in neat formations, just like they always did. They expected the humans to fight like a normal military, but the humans were not fighting like a normal military at all. With the human warships came factory ships. These ships could build new weapons, new parts, and even new ships while the fleet was moving through space. In just a few days, they could build enough supplies for the whole fleet. The Zephyrians had never seen anything like it. Dr. Nam Yoon worked in the medical room of a hospital ship. This ship was named after her dead friend, Dr. Kim Soo. Even though her ship now had weapons, it was still a hospital first. She was taking care of hurt Zephyrian soldiers that had been captured in the fighting. We are not like them, she told the other doctors and nurses. We heal people first. We fight second. The human fleet moved through Zephyrian space like a storm. In 3 weeks, they took control of 3 whole star systems. The Zephyrian forces could not understand what was happening to them. They were used to fighting other military forces that had the same number of ships and weapons. But the humans were different. Every day, the human fleet got bigger and stronger, while the Zephyrians lost ships. The humans built new ones to replace any they lost. Admiral Vextar was the Zephyrian commander who had ordered the attack on the hospital ship. He was on his flagship, watching his defense lines break apart. The humans were winning everywhere. "Sir, they are not fighting like a normal army," his officer said. "They are fighting like their whole species is at war." "How many ships do the humans have?" Admiral Vextar asked. He sounded worried. "That is the problem, sir. They keep building more ships while they fight. Their factory ships make new warships faster than we can destroy them." Admiral Vextar stared at his battle screens. Red lights showed where his ships were losing. There were more red lights every minute. The human ships fought in ways no one expected. The mining ships used their rock-cutting lasers to slice through Zephyrian hulls. The cargo ships opened their big doors and released clouds of missiles like angry insects. The factory ships stayed behind the battle lines, building more weapons and ships, but the most frightening thing was how the humans fought together. Every ship, from the biggest warship to the smallest supply vessel, worked as one big machine. They talked to each other constantly, sharing information and helping each other. Dr. Nam Yoonji finished helping a wounded Zephyrian soldier. The alien looked up at her with confusion. "Why do you help me?" the soldier asked in broken human language. "I am your enemy." "Because that is what humans do," she said simply. "We help people who are hurt, even people who hurt us." The soldier was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "We should not have attacked your hospital ship." "No," Dr. Nam Yoonji said sadly, "you should not have." On the bridge of the Retribution, Admiral Song watched the battle reports come in. His fleet was winning everywhere. The Zep were retreating from system after system. But he did not feel happy about winning. He remembered Dr. Kim Soo-jin and Captain Park Min-ho and young Dr. Choi Ji-ho. He remembered all the people who had died on the hospital ship. "Admiral Captain," Bae-Suho said, "the Zephyrians are asking to talk." "Tell them we will talk when Admiral Vextar surrenders himself for trial," Admiral Song said. "He killed doctors and patients. He will answer for that." The human fleet continued moving through Zephyrian space. They were not just fighting a war. They were teaching the galaxy a lesson. They were showing everyone what happened when you attacked those who heal. The peaceful humans had become warriors. But even as warriors, they were still healers first. They fought to protect the innocent and heal the wounded. They had awakened not just to destroy, but to defend the values they believed in. The galaxy was learning that humans could be the gentlest, healers, or the most terrible enemies. It all depended on how you treated them. The final battle happened at Zephyr Prime, the home planet of the aliens who had attacked the hospital ship. Admiral Song Hyun-woo looked at the planet from his warship's bridge. He could see that Admiral Vextar had put civilian space stations between his military bases and the human fleet. The Zephyrian commander was using his own people as human shields. "He is hiding behind innocent people," said Captain Bae-Suho. His voice showed how disgusted he was. "Then we will show them how to fight the right way," Admiral Song said. "Dr. Nam, are your medical teams ready?" On the hospital ship Kim Soo-jin, Dr. Nam Yoon-ji was getting her doctors and nurses ready for battle. "All surgery rooms are prepared," she told her staff. "We will help their wounded people the same way we help our own." That is what Dr. Kim would have wanted us to do. The human fleet moved toward the planet very carefully. The Zephyrians had used big weapons against a defenseless hospital ship. But the humans were different. They aimed only at military targets and left the civilian areas alone. The mining ships used their rock-cutting lasers to slice through enemy warships. The cargo ships fired precise missiles that disabled Zephyrian vessels without destroying them completely. Every shot was carefully planned to avoid hurting innocent people as the orbital defenses around the planet fell one by one. Admiral Vextar found himself trapped on his flagship. The same human fleet he had once called weak healers now surrounded him. Admiral Song's voice came over the radio communication system. Admiral Vexstar, I give you the same choice you gave Captain Park Minho of the hospital ship. Surrender and face trial for your crimes, or be destroyed. Vexstar's voice came back, but it did not sound as strong as before. You cannot judge us by your weak human ideas of right and wrong. Watch us, Admiral Song said simply. 3 hours later, Admiral Vexstar gave up. He and his top officers were arrested and taken to face trial for attacking the hospital ship. The trials were shown on communication networks all across the galaxy. New laws were made to protect hospital ships and medical missions. The Zephyrian people watched the trials and learned the truth about what their military had done. Many of them felt ashamed. Some young Zephyrians even volunteered to work with human medical teams to make up for their leaders' crimes. 6 months after the trials ended, a new ship was launched from Earth's space shipyards. It was called the UMS Kim Soo-jin, named after the doctor who had died protecting alien children. It was the most advanced hospital ship ever built. The crew of this new ship was special. It had both humans and Zephyrians working together. The Zephyrians had learned from their mistakes and wanted to help heal the wounds their people had caused. Captain Park Do-sam stood on the bridge of the new hospital ship. She was the sister of Captain Park Minho, who had died on the first hospital ship. She watched her medical teams get ready for their first mission back to the Kepler sector. Captain, said her communications officer, we are getting a distress call from a damaged transport ship. The communications officer was a young Zephyrian named Kexlin. She had volunteered to work with the humans after seeing what her people had done wrong. Captain Park smiled, but it was a sad smile. Set course for them right away. And communications, make sure our medical signals are broadcasting clearly, so everyone knows we are a hospital ship. Yes, sir, Kexlin replied, though I do not think anyone will attack us again. Captain Park looked out at the stars. She thought about Dr. Kim Soo-jin and all the other doctors and nurses who had died just because they wanted to help people. No, she said quietly. I do not think they will either. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Humans were peaceful people who liked to heal and help others. But if you attacked those healers, if you hurt people whose only crime was showing mercy, then the humans would come for you with all their fury. The other alien species now understood that humanity's greatest strength was not how well they could fight wars. Their greatest strength was that they were willing to fight wars to protect those who heal the sick and wounded. Hospital ships now flew safely through all parts of the galaxy. No one dared to attack them anymore. Everyone remembered what had happened to the Zephyrians when they made that terrible mistake. Dr. Nam Yoon-ji worked in the medical bay of the new Kim-soo. She was helping both human and alien patients, just like her friend Dr. Kim had done. As she worked, she remembered the promise all doctors made to help people and never harm them. The human fleet had gone home, but their message was clear too. Everyone in the galaxy, touch those who heal and face the consequences. The humans had shown that mercy and justice could work together, and that sometimes you had to fight to protect the right to heal. Peace had returned to the stars, but it was a peace built on respect and the memory of what happened when that respect was forgotten.